We're here at Kings County Hospital because Myron Pollock, who's a 60-year-old, 31-year veteran of transit, and he's a conductor, he's an exemplary employee, was doing his job, and it was attacked by somebody who has a history of attacking transit customers and MTA employees. This is a guy who not only has a long rap sheet, but who has made it a practice of attacking people in the transit system, including our employees. Now, Mr. Pollock, who is a conductor, reached the end of the line on the number 4 train at Utica, and he went to, as he's supposed to do, to clear the train so it could be cleaned, so it could be serviced before it goes out for another run. And there was a guy who would not leave the train. And after some words were exchanged, this guy chased Mr. Pollock, our conductor, onto the platform, and he attacked him brutally and stabbed him multiple times. Serious stab wounds. Mr. Pollock's in critical condition. He's in surgery right now. So number one, our hearts and everybody at MTA's heart is with our brother, Myron Pollock, praying for his recovery. But the second thing that comes to mind is about transit recidivism. We have transit crime, and I should have introduced everybody behind me, I will admit, but Chief Michael Kemper, who was until recently the head of the Transit Bureau of the NYPD, is now the MTA's Chief Security Officer. And under him, we pushed transit crime back to a level where it's 12% below where it was before COVID. Progress was made. But there is a huge number of crimes that still take place in the transit system by people who do it again and again and again. And this guy is one of them. And we appeal to the criminal justice system to address this challenge, okay? He's been in jail for attacking MTA customers and employees before. He got out in February, and he's done it again. So we have to find a way for the criminal justice system to be able to protect New Yorkers, especially transit riders, against people who want to do harm to them again and again. Now, I should have done it at the outset, but we're joined by the team from Kings County Hospital, including Dr. Cho and Mr. Saul. I'm joined by the president of New York City Transit, Demetrius Critchlow, Chief Michael Kemper, the MTA's Chief Security Officer, Shanifa Riera, who's Chief Customer Officer, and Katie Falaska, who's our criminal justice advocate. We added somebody specifically to work who comes from the criminal justice system. Katie was a DA for many years, to work with the DAs to make sure that this kind of stuff is treated a little differently. So I'm going to stop there, and with assistance from those behind me, ready to answer your question. But the number one thing is prayers for Myron Pollock and his family for recovery. He's in surgery. And number two is we got to find a way to get people like this perpetrator out of the public space, out of the subways, so they don't attack people again and again. Crime is down, but recidivism is a disproportionate impact on New Yorkers. With that, take questions?
Yeah. We'll start with Janice. Janice Summon, any questions?
Can you talk a little bit more about Mr. Pollock, his family? I know you mentioned he'd been with the MTA. How long has he been a conductor?
He's a 31-year conductor. As far as I know, that's been his title throughout his term of service. 60 years old, I'm told. We'll check it for you. 60 years old. But he's a vet that I am told he's a real pro, and everybody relies on him. He mentors people. He's one of those guys that knows his way around the system and is beloved by his fellow employees. As I say, just doing his job, clearing a train at the end of the line, and this guy attacks him.
Wife and kids?
Wife on the way. I don't know about kids.
So when something like this happens,
Yeah.
you say crime is down, riders are scared, and it has a chilling effect on MTA employees as well.
Yes.
What can you say to those employees may hear from the mayor and from you that crime is down on the subways, but something like this happens and people are afraid to run the system.
Right. Well, we rely on, Marla, we obviously rely on you who translate this for the public to give perspective so that people do have full information. Crime is in a significant way down since pre-COVID. It's even down since 2023. But you're not wrong that these major high-profile incidents impact on New Yorkers. That's why we are calling on the criminal justice system to take action. One thing that we did in tandem with our unions, plural, a couple of years ago is that we got the state legislature to make sure it is a felony to attack any MTA employee. Any MTA employee, it's a felony. Now, we're counting on the DAs and the judges to follow through on that, to make sure that the charge sticks, that it's not knocked down to some low-level offense, and that there are consequences, mainly because we want them away from our riders, out of the system. We also push for successfully to give judges and prosecutors the power to ban people from the transit system. We think that ought to be used more frequently. So we're doing our part, working with the unions, but we're giving the criminal justice system tools. We need them to use them.
Evan?
Two-part question. One, can anyone from the hospital talk a little bit more about Mr. Pollock's condition and the injuries he sustained? And then two, can you talk a little bit about, is the attacker in custody? How did that come to pass, if it passed?
I'm going to defer to Chief Kemper to talk about the attack and then to the doctor.
So when this assault took place, there were police officers from the NYPD Transit Bureau in that station. They became aware of the commotion. They immediately went to the commotion and they observed the perpetrator on top, still on top of the victim. It was at that time they intervened, took the perpetrator into custody without incident and recovered the knife. The perpetrator is 27 years old, extensive history, as the chairman stated. He's in custody with NYPD officers and detectives. He will be charged with attempted murder, and that case will be then handed off to the rest of the justice system for completion.
And regarding the patient's condition, he arrived to the emergency department in critical condition with multiple wounds to the chest, abdomen, axilla, and thigh. He was taken expeditiously up to the operating room where he currently is at this time, and we are currently waiting for further update from the trauma surgeons.
Any other questions?
I'm going to ask Katie Falaska just to describe to you his criminal justice history.
So the perpetrator they have in custody has been previously convicted of assaulting an MTA conductor. He was convicted of the felony that the chairman spoke about, a carve-out specifically meant to protect the frontline workers that provide transportation to millions of New Yorkers. He has also assaulted one of our customers. He has slashed them. This is a person that uses the transit system to prey on our customers and our employees, and it is unacceptable and tragic that he is allowed to still ride our systems. It is a privilege to work on behalf of the city of New York and all New Yorkers. It's a privilege we share with the NYPD as well as with the Brooklyn DA's office. We've been in contact throughout the day. They are excellent partners, and we hope that there will be accountability in a more meaningful way than there was prior, because this is an individual who solely uses our system for evil.
And he has 14 priors?
There are 14 prior arrests, that's correct.
Okay.
No more questions?
Good? Okay. Thank you. And I'm on the way to meet with some of the family members just for context. We're going to go do that right now.